Yo, what's going on? It's Mr. FAB representing Oakland, California, and you're watching feedbackthemagazine.com.
Feedbackthemagazine.com is a black-owned, black-operated news outlet. We don't exhibit the same principles that the mainstream media has. We are our own entity.
Hello everybody, I'm Sonny Pinckney and this is feedbackthemagazine.com. I'm here with rapper, activist, and owner of Dope Era Apparel, Mistah FAB. How's everything, big guy?
I'm having a good time, man. Enjoying it, being able to live in my creations. Life is good, life is grand. So I'm just chilling, man. Good day to day. Enjoying it. Every day is a good day. You don't think so? Try missing one.
That's definitely true. My first question is, I want to know, how did you come up with the concept of Dope Era clothing line?
Dope Era in the infancy stages created was me, my brother, my childhood friend, and me and my two brothers actually, and we were just sitting down, joking around, thinking about some things, cracked a joke about what would be cool on a shirt or whatever, and we was just like, yo, that's something from the Dope Era. It was like, oh yeah, the Dope Era, huh? And then we ran with it. We did a few test shirts and we started running. My brother he does 98% of all of the designs. And we just was throwing ideas at each other, and since then, this is going on its 6th year, and we're just happy to be able to still be moving, man. Most companies kind of falter off the year, 2 years, but to be able to be 6, they say if you make it to 5, then that's when you can start making some money off of it. So we've been able to put it in. It's never about the money with us, it's just about the ideas and the creativity and continue to stay consistent with what we're doing. So it's been a good thing, man. But the Dope Era, that name alone is something that's been around since the early 80s.
Okay. My next question is, what do you attribute your success to after all you've been around for 6 years? Do you believe that you guys don't forget about your community?
Community is very pivotal in what we do, because even the acronym for Dope Era, which is developing opportunity for people to evolve and everyone rises above, is all about creating opportunity for community, for family, and just for the business structure, being a model of what the business structure is, of what we're representing, to be a young black dude who comes from, you know, the pits of poverty, but to rise to it and not to succumb to what many of my peers have succumbed to: prison, death, and a life of negativity. So for us to flip the narrative, that's successful to me. It's not about the money. It's not about any of those things, because if one prizes his life important moments about possessions, then once those possessions are stripped from you, then nothing of importance is left with you. So the possessions, they don't mean much to me. I think the consistency and the opportunity that we've created and all of the things that we are able to do, not only with our clothing line, but just with our daily life and activities in the community, that's more important than anything.
Okay, Mr. FAB, for the people out there that's curious, who is your main target base?
We don't really have a target base, man. Our target base is anybody that just likes cool things, man. You know, if you like some dope stuff, man, come check it out, because it ranges. Like, we have people that it's funny to me because there are certain things that some of the kids like, and I know that there's no way possible for them to even be aware of what it was. You know, we look at this shirt right here, and some kids don't know what this is. But if you catch anybody that's from the 80s babies and things like that, you're like, yo, that's crazy. Like, this was actually one of our first designs. So, and this is what, I didn't even look down to see what I had on. This is to answer the question before. So it's funny because when we were joking, we was like, man, I'm gonna put the gun from Nintendo on a shirt and I'm gonna say, that's my first strap. And we just start cracking up because everybody started like, bro, that is my first strap, bro.
Yeah, like the duck hunt.
The duck hunt gun. So he was like, bro, that is my first strap. So it was just like we were refurbishing ideas and memories of fashion and things that we grew up playing with and things that we grew up that was dear to us in those times, and we flipped them. And so now there's certain kids who like, yo, I need that, I want that. Like, one of our biggest things are our sweatsuits, and the sweatsuits are like the colorful font, which is resemblance of the Mario Brothers. And some of the kids don't even know that. They just see it and they're like, yo, I want that. That's dope. And it's like, yo, it's no way that they grew up playing Mario Brothers.
No.
So, so to answer the question, we don't have a target market, man. We just, if you like some dope stuff, man, from an infant to, a senior citizen, it don't matter,
Yes. On January 22nd, you will be hosting an all-male, all-boys empowerment seminar at West Oakland Youth Center. Can you tell me more about that?
January 27th, actually.
Okay, my apologies.
January 27th is an all boys from Boys to Men seminar, and it's about cultural empowerment of what we're doing as black men, of how we have to get back and take the initiatives of our communities to be leaders, to be role models, to be mentors, and allow our mentees to see us living by the examples of the things that we're teaching. Unfortunately, there have been times where certain people that are still in the life try to tell people don't be involved in the life or don't get in this, but they're still living in that life. So kids will rarely do as they hear, but will always do as they see. And in that, how can you tell me don't be doing this, but when you moving around, that's what you're doing? Yeah, you don't want me to get involved with that. Okay, you don't want me to get involved with that? Well, show me that you're not involved with it. And that's how life works. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get some brothers that are no longer currently involved in the street revenue, street streaming, and talking to these youth like, this what we gotta do. This what we own. And that's what we showing people. Last month we did an all-girls summit. We had about 200, 300 girls, and it was beautiful. I didn't let any men talk. I let all women speak. I had women keynote speakers. I had women chefs, cooks, bartenders, so on and so forth. And it was just about women empowerment. And it was beautiful to sit back and watch all of those women and those sisters build from princesses to queens. And the narrative for this one is, from princes to kings. We're just trying to continue to keep raising our boys to men.
Now, is this something that that Dope Era Fashions will be doing year in and year out?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, what people have to understand is we're not just clothes. It's not just about fashion with us. Dope Era is just not limited to just clothes. Dope Era is, we're creating the new era. This era is dope. We're making this era dope. We're taking back the morals. The only thing about the dope era that we grew up in, the only era was the dope. So if you remove the dope from the era that we grew up in the 80s and the 90s, life was amazing. People cared. Communities were, were overly populated with black people living together. There were black ownership. You seen black liquor stores. You seen black businesses. You seen the community being empowered by itself. The only thing that ravaged and tore up our communities was the dope. So if you remove the dope from our era was really dope. But the only era was the dope. So once we remove that, then we live back from, we're taking the initiatives and replenishing the streets with the morality of this is what it is to be a man. This is what it is to be a businessman. This is what it is to be a leader, and leading by example, showing these kids, man, this don't have nothing to do with clothes. If I stop making clothes today, that's not going to change my daily movement and what I'm doing in these streets. Yes. The philanthropy work, the community activism, the standing on the front line, talking about situations and issues that is a direct reflection of how it affects our people. So it becomes way bigger than just clothing. So, that's something that we do and that we've done for several years. Like last month was the 15th annual toy giveaway. So before it became popular to give out gifts and give out toys and stuff like that, we've been doing that for 15 years on the front line, giving out gifts to kids and families and people that's in need. So, it's not about the headlines, it's about the healing with us.
How did that you got the inspiration for writing the Dope Era?
The Dope Era book, man, this is truthfully, I was doing some motivational messages. Tell them I'm going to come right here. Tell them I'm going to come. I'm doing, I do motivational speeches like on my social media, things like that. And I go to the kids and the schools and I talk to the kids like from like a motivational speaker and things like that. And I felt like there were certain captions and certain things that I was putting on my Instagram that many people, they like the video but won't read the caption. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the captions and put it in a book. And And I'm going to take these things and I'm going to give like small little excerpts of everything that I was saying from my videos, and I'm going to put it in the book. I actually had some help and some assistance being edited by Dream Hampton, who has found renowned fame. Not that she wanted it, but she just did the executive producer of the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. So she helped with the editing of this book, Dream Hampton, which is I love her so much. She is like the greatest person on earth to me, and at least one of them. My brother Derek Grace, who is such an educator, man. He is such a very helpful utensil to our black dominance and the tooling of reprogramming our mind states. He did the forward for me, and it's beautiful, man, to be able to say, man, I got a book, man. I got a book that's helpful. And it's about principles of purpose. That's all the book is about. So you can flip it up to any page and find something that you can apply to, to you. And you be like, oh, okay, this is dope. It's just straight principles of purpose, man. Like, for instance, it says, embrace new beginnings, especially if they're positive. Support your people who are transitioning as best as you can. You would be shocked at how far a little encouragement can go. Stuff like that is like, it's just small little principles, like a little excerpts, like, the hood Deepak Chakra or something.
Yes.
For sure.
Do you have time for 2 more questions?
Of course.
Okay. You overcame a lot of adversity in your life with the deaths of your parents. Can you talk about how did you overcome the tragic death of your parents to be an entrepreneur, be an activist in your Oakland community?
Well, you never thoroughly and fully overcome those things. These are things that stick with you every day. Death is something that one never really gets over. You can find ways to deal with it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, I know it's going to get better. As I was like, it never gets better. You just get better at learning how to deal with it. You learn how to put up certain walls and put up certain blocks and things like that, but you never get over the loss of people that close to you. You never could get over the loss of a mother, or get over the loss of a child, or get over the loss of a father or sibling or anything of that nature. So I would never say that I've overcome it. I continue to keep moving forward because life goes on. And life's going to go on with them or without me regardless. But I want to be an example for people that have been through certain things. My mother was my best friend, and my father died when I was young, and I wish I would have had a little bit more time to deal with him so he could teach me certain things of this world from a man's perspective. Things that I had to learn from the streets and things that I had to learn from, friends and peers and just my activities of what I was doing. Some of the negative things that I got into as a kid, it was just basically curiosity of what it was to be like a man. I wanted to do certain things, trying to grow up fast. Now that those things are far behind me, succumbing to the streets was something that I never felt like was for me. I never wanted to sell crack cocaine because my mother was on drugs. So I never wanted anybody else's mom to go through the things that I was going through, or for someone to experience the things that I went through. That feeling. I never respected the dude on the corner who was selling crack because I felt like you probably was one of the dudes that sold my mom's drugs.
Yeah.
So that wasn't something that I never wanted to do. So it's about running your route. Some people run fake routes, and then they're running that fake route. At the end of it, you'll never have no blessings. You can't score a touchdown on that because you're running the wrong routes, man. It ain't right. It ain't. It's not a sign of nature. So where you end up is the place that you chose to be. You catch people who come from good homes, come from good communities, and they want to go do the street stuff, and that outcome is never good. I've never heard a positive story about somebody that ran one of them routes and became successful. And if they did, it was temporary. But I ain't never seen nobody ball for years and years on top of years running a fake route. You know what I mean? Eventually it catch up with you.
Yeah.
So I guess my answer to that would be stay in what's in your heart. Make sure your heart is always in the right place. Get your mind right, and don't be so quick to try to impress somebody that ain't gonna like you regardless. We do our hardest to impress people that don't like us regardless. So stick on your square, man. Ain't nothing wrong with staying on your business. Ain't nothing wrong with being square. Ain't nothing wrong with going to school. Ain't nothing wrong with getting educated. Education is the new gangster. That's gangster. A nigga going to jail and getting shot at and all that ain't gangster. That's foolish. Education is the new gangster. And it's always been. It's just been undermined and looked down upon by ignorance. So just stay focused, man. Stay. Put your mind in the right area, and try to learn as much as you possibly can and apply it. Because without application, it means nothing.
All right, my last question, with Beast Mode having his business, Marshawn Lynch, down the street, and with your business, Dope Era, and with E40 having Sick Witted Records, do you feel like you guys can motivate young men, African American men, to start their own businesses?
Yeah, most definitely. E40 has motivated me most of my life. He's always been a great businessman. He's always been super intelligent when it comes to making executive decisions and moves from his business point of view, from music to whatever else it is. I remember when he bought a Fat Burger, and I remember he was just doing different things. He opened up a club called the Ambassador's Lounge, and I was always intrigued at his ability to, not only intrigued, but interested in his ability to be such a business mogul, man. He's a great example to follow, you know what I mean, if you're gonna follow anyone. The beauty of what my cousin, Marshawn Lynch, has done, which is my real cousin, to see him go from playing sports to opening up several businesses, not just his clothing store, but he has restaurants. He's gotten to real estate over these past couple of years, and he's bought up big buildings and stuff all throughout downtown Oakland. I mean, when will they ever highlight what a black man does? We can't allow them to highlight what black men do and not be mad when they don't do it, you know? Just like we can't be emotional when they try to defame us, when they try to put us on these magazines, they make us look like savages and things like that. It's just like when the European settlers came, and when they reported back to England, they said that, man, it's savages that live here. So they had to make the Indians look like they were savages in order for them to get an okay so they could terrorize them and take over their land. When in actuality, they was the terrorists. They was the savages. They was coming in with diseases and killing them people. But they never want to highlight a black man. Why should we expect white media to put us in a great light? That's why we have to take the initiative and do our own media. We have to highlight our own heroes. We have to pick our own people. We have to sit up and give credit to our own folks that's doing something, because we can't expect no other media outlets that's full of propaganda and that's full of, the falsehoods or whatever thing that whatever else they want to do. The media, they want to blackball us in white media.
Yeah.
So black media has to put us in a great light. So you can't catch somebody at their lowest moment and try to humiliate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I just feel that I watch those sports shows. Those guys like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, I believe they honestly don't believe the stuff that they're saying. I'll be honest with you, but they have to say it, because if not, they'll get fired or get reprimanded, like Stephen A. Smith did a couple years ago when he spoke out against women, and Michelle Beadle had complained, and he was suspended by First Take a couple of years ago. So I just feel though that as black men, we can't speak up, because if we do, we'll get reprimanded by our supervisors.
I mean, that's why we become the supervisors. That's why we take the initiative to become that. I don't have no boss. Can't nobody tell me when to close, when to open, nothing. I'm my own boss. Mm-hmm. So we got to go out there and continue to be our own bosses. You know what I'm saying? Just like Stephen A., he spoke on Josh Gordon the other day about his mental issues or whatever it is that he's been dealing with. And these are things where, how are you so enlightened in one regards to where you're this intelligent guy? And I respect Stephen A.'s mental abilities, very intelligent, highly sophisticated, good brother, speaks extremely well, very articulate, and he does great things. But how can you be naive to the mental condition of another black man, and then you down him on these public forums? You down him for having mental issues. You don't know what that brother going through. You don't know what it is, the mental things that this man is going through, but you'd rather use your platform to downgrade this man, to talk about this man and his mental issues, rather than saying, man, what can we do to get this brother some help? So when we look at that, we got to be careful who we choose to be our heroes, who we choose to speak for us. Because for years, white media has put our heroes and our token blackies, they gave us them heroes. They gave us Jesse Jackson. They gave us Al Sharptons. And they gave us all of these other people that they wanted us to be heroes. But the people's people and the people's choice, they always look down upon. You know what I'm saying? They look down upon Malcolm X.
Yeah.
They look down. They look down upon. They talk bad about Muhammad Ali. His birthday was yesterday, but they'll speak highly about you after you dead. because now you can't defend for yourself. Just like these cops will kill you and give your family settlements. But if you survive one of their beatings, they'll drag you out. They won't give you no money while you're alive, but they'll give you some money if they kill you.
And I feel as though that Colin Kaepernick, the former 49ers quarterback, once he dies, or Tommy Smith or John Carlos, when they die, they going big up on them, like what they stood up for their country, but they won't celebrate or give them their roses, like you said on the Breakfast Club,
Right.
while they're alive. So
Most definitely, because they have to admit they're wrong. I was reading in the paper yesterday, some brothers from, I can't distinctly remember what city it was, but it was something that happened like 70 years ago, where these brothers was killed about a rape case, and they just pardoned them now. Like, so they just cleaned up their name years after they've been dead, after they murdered them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They'll clean you up afterwards. Like even the CIA came forth and said that they had something to do with Martin Luther King's assassination. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going on. Like these are the things that happen, man. So you got to be able to give a brother their roses while they still alive. Because at the end of the day, they'll put black eyes on all of us. They'll put black eyes on all of us, man. And they'll have your own people hating you. They'll have your own people hating you, man. They'll say you're a slum of the earth, you're grotesque, you're the things that you've done, the defamation, and then they'll come out and say, oh, it ended up not being true. But by that time, the slander and the damage has already been done.
just like Michael Jackson.
All of that, man. Michael Jackson been dead years, man, and they got a documentary coming out talking about sex scandals with Michael Jackson. That's crazy. From this man's grave, they still putting this man in the dirt. That man was never found guilty of none of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if he did it or not. Me, truthfully, I don't think so. I think Mike was just a big ass kid. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother 45 minutes of a conversation. But my whole thing is, as media, man, we got to highlight each other, man. Like, even myself, I stopped filming, like, the junkies in the hood and the people that was doing bad for my own entertainment. Some people's humiliation is your entertainment. Like, we'll film a junkie getting high, smoking rocks, doing crazy stuff, and then we'll be like, auntie, you hella funny, you woo woo woo. But to us, that's entertainment.
Yeah.
But we leading to humiliating our people. So we all been guilty of it, so I can't condemn nobody about it, because I done did it. We all done did it. But you gotta realize that. Look at the humiliation in your folks. That's somebody's mama, man.
Yeah.
That's somebody's sister, that's somebody's daughter. And you putting them out there, regardless of their current state right now, they was something before they was that. So we gotta be mindful of that, man. People look for stories so they can make a headline for their self-benefit. You wanna do an interview, you wanna catch a good line, well, the interview won't have nothing to do about the headline of the story. But that headline gonna get you them clicks.
Yeah.
And all you worried about is getting some views. Nigga don't care if it's true or not, you just want some views. So we gotta be more mindful of how we handle each other, man. Like I say, we are required to have cultural patience with each other. Because we've been through a lot, we affected, and we gotta understand that we gotta help each other. Some of us are hurt, man, and we need healing. And the healing process takes a little bit of time, take a little bit longer. But it is what it is, man. We gotta just, everybody got something to do, man. Everybody got something to contribute towards the awakening of our people and the healing of our people. You know, what will you do to heal your folks?